We all know why you're really here. Desiree. Coach Phillips's voice slices through the echoey natatorium, just loud enough for every swimmer, every parent up in those stands, and every single whispering shadow on those wet tiles to hear him. Diversity scholarships might get you through the door, but they don't make you a swimmer. That's the moment, right there, where the ground drops out beneath you and the chlorine stings worse than usual. When you realize the grown-ups in charge, the ones wearing watches you could never afford, are never going to let you forget who you are and where you come from. You know what I mean. Desiree stands at the edge of the pool, water running off her skin in nervous rivulets. 16 white faces watching from the water, their expressions mostly smug, a few a little sorry, but not sorry enough to say anything out loud. Her name's still up on that scoreboard from yesterday, top 3, but now that doesn't seem to matter. But my times were better than half the, she starts, and her voice wobbles, betraying just how much it all hurts. Times. Coach Phillips's laughter bounces off the tile, sharp and dismissive. This is about technique, precision, understanding the culture of the sport. That hangs there, heavy and ugly, and everyone knows what it means. Heather, the captain, flashes a little smirk, and Blake, whose dad runs the school board, lets out this low finally, like he's been waiting for this. The coach glances at his expensive watch, a gift everyone knows came after the Griffins poured money into the pool, and tells Desiree she can leave her team suit before she goes. Wouldn't want to waste resources, and right then, when her face is wet with pool water, could be a tear, could just be sweat, she makes herself walk, not run, to the locker room. Each step echoing with the silent judgment of people who'll never understand what it costs to stand your ground. In the bathroom stall, with her hands shaking, she texts her grandfather. It happened. Worse than we thought. She looks in the mirror at a girl who swam fast enough, but was never going to be right enough. And in that moment, the fight begins, quiet and invisible, right under the hum of the locker room lights. The city bus screeches on the corner of Maple and 43rd, the pavement cracked, the world on this side of town forever a universe apart from the manicured lawns of Westlake Academy. Desiree lugs her swim bag up 5 flights of stairs, elevators out again, and finds her grandfather, Elton, already waiting at their little kitchen table, dinner cooling on the plate. He's slower these days, but nothing escapes him. She drops her bag, tries to force a smile. "Coach cut me today. Said my technique wasn't precise enough." Elton just nods, something old and angry and sad flickering in his eyes. Memories of 1972, standing beside an Olympic pool he never got to swim in, his own qualifying times folded up in his pocket. Useless. He pulls out a battered notebook, the perfect stroke, and sets it between them. Decades of diagrams, scribbled calculations, every secret about how water works and how bodies move. All ignored by coaches who only saw a janitor with big ideas. "You've been holding back," he says, not a question, just the truth, and Desiree nods. She never swam her fastest at practice, not where anyone could see. Why? "Because I'm already the only black girl on the team, the only scholarship kid, the only one who takes the bus," she whispers. "If they knew how fast I really am." Her grandfather just presses his old digital watch into her hand. Professional grade, more precise than anything the school owns, and reminds her of the rhythm he used to count. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the heartbeat of their shared stubbornness. That night, the phone rings. It's the guidance counselor, reminding Desiree her academic scholarship requires an extracurricular. 3 weeks to find a replacement, or she's up for review. The anxiety is a tidal wave, washing over rent notices, insurance denials for her grandfather's medication, and the knowledge that nothing in her life is secure except the water. School the next day is colder, quieter, conversations dying whenever Desiree walks by. The swim team laughs a little too loud. In physics class, Dr. Winters, sharp-eyed and watchful, calls on Blake, who can't answer, and later pulls Desiree aside, quietly offering her a special project on applied physics in competitive swimming, an olive branch. But at lunch, the world gets smaller. A private Instagram group, Westlake Real Swim Team. Her face photoshopped onto a drowning cartoon. Even Coach liked it. That's when Taylor Kim, the school paper's photo editor, appears, a new character, camera around her neck, direct and curious. She knows the truth. Desiree's times were better than Heather's before the coach adjusted them after another Griffin donation. And there's more. The Riverdale Invitational is next month, open to independents, $5,000 scholarship to the winner, enough to cover Pop's meds and keep her scholarship alive. The rec center is where Desiree trains now, her grandfather timing every stroke, Taylor documenting every lap. But when the pool closes for emergency repairs, every other lane in the city mysteriously becomes members only when Desiree shows up. The pressure ratchets up. Taylor texts bad news. Coach Phillips filed a complaint with the Invitational Committee, claiming she can't compete without his release. An obscure rule, but rules are always obstacles for kids like her. Dr. Winters comes through, offering her own backyard pool and revealing her own past. A former star swimmer who knows exactly what it means to be kept out for the wrong reasons. The community forms: Taylor, Elton, Dr. Winters, each lending Desiree a lifeline. But at home, Elton's health falters, insurance won't cover his medicine, and bills stack up. Desiree thinks of quitting, taking a job, but her grandfather refuses, opening the last pages of his notebook, saving the most advanced technique for this moment, for when she needs to be undeniable. The Riverdale Invitational is a cathedral of glass and water, the crowd a tidal wave of privilege. Desiree, armed with Pop's watch and Taylor's livestream, faces officials who try to block her until Dr. Winters drops a board president's name and hints at Title IX. Suddenly, the paperwork is all in order. The Westlake team arrives, Coach Phillips lurking, Heather and Blake flashing practice sneers. In the heats, Desiree qualifies easily, but her grandfather looks pale, holding on. Final turn, he rasps, pressing the watch into her palm. Page 47, the momentum shift. In the final, 8 swimmers dive, 7 with coaches, Desiree alone. Except for the weight of everything she's carrying, the first half is tight. Heather and Blake keep pace. At 3/4, Desiree unleashes her grandfather's hidden technique, a subtle shift, a slingshot out of the wall. She explodes forward, body length ahead, crossing the finish a full second faster than any Westlake swimmer in 15 years. The scoreboard blinks her name. The crowd explodes. Taylor's camera catches everything. The silent faces of her old teammates. Coach Phillips frozen, Elton standing to his feet, tears streaming. "That's my butterfly." Reporters swarm. Dr. Nelson from the school board demands answers. How did Desiree get cut for technical deficiencies when she just shattered the record? Coach tries to slither away, but Taylor corners him, receipts in hand, donation records, the Instagram hate, everything. The crowd murmurs. The Riverdale officials hand Desiree the $5,000 check, and her grandfather weeps with pride. A week later, the school launches an investigation. Coach Phillips is suspended, years of financial misdeeds unearthed. Dr. Nelson offers Desiree the team captaincy and a full ride, but Desiree just shakes her head. Westlake needs a system, not a savior. She proposes diversity scholarships and blind tryouts. No names, no faces, just times and technique. Elton's soft, sometimes unusual requests reveal character, leaves the board silent. Months later, the community pool is newly tiled, funded by parents shamed into action. Elton's breathing easy, Taylor's story wins journalism awards, and Dr. Winters helps other schools replicate the change. At tryouts, anonymous swimmers line up, kids who never would have dared, their potential finally visible. One morning, Blake shows up, without his crew, wanting to learn, willing to coach others as payment. Desiree hesitates, but says yes, everyone's got to start somewhere. Later, as the blind tryouts begin, Desiree stands with Dr. Winters. She's ready, always has been. The new generation dives in. On the balcony, Dr. Nelson watches not just the swimmers, but the woman who forced them all to change. Back home on the balcony, Elton tells Desiree water never cared who he was, only how he moved through it. The perfect stroke isn't about swimming, he says. It's about understanding the forces and moving forward. The next morning, Desiree leads her own students, teaching them water's honesty. Taylor films. Blake is right on time, working with the little kids. Desiree swims, her grandfather's watch marking time. Not just seconds, but a whole new rhythm for everyone who comes after. Did this story get to you? Do you think justice was served, or was it just the first step in a longer fight? Drop your thoughts below. Who was right? Who was wrong? What would you have done? Subscribe for more stories like this one, and let's talk about what real change actually looks like. Because sometimes it's just a girl and her grandfather, a pool, and a perfect stroke that cracks open a whole system.